Hello everyone, my name is Mackenzie Powell and I would like to welcome you all to the second week of our senior projects. I am so excited for you to hear all of our speeches tonight, and yeah, I'm really excited. We've been working on these since mid-November and we put a lot of hard work in them, and I cannot wait to hear my fellow classmates. But I'm going to start off the night, and my project is called Poor Financial Literacy. How many of you wish you were taught more about money concepts at a younger age? The average score on the US National Financial Literacy Test was 68%. The fact that US citizens are averaging a D on this test clearly proves that Americans are not as educated as they should be about their personal finances. Growing up, my father has been able to teach me all about finance and the stock market since he is a financial advisor. Although I have been incredibly blessed to learn about the importance of money, most teenagers around me have not. I have taken a great interest in my father's career over the years and will be studying finance at Westminster College as a result. As a high school student, I've been around a lot of students who have no idea what it really means to be wealthy or how much life actually costs. They believe that just because someone drives a nice car or has a big house means that they are wealthy. They fail to understand that many adults spend money in ways that they cannot afford, ending up in major debt for the rest of their life. Those adults were probably never properly taught back when they were in high school. My objective is to help future Penn Trafford graduates have greater levels of financial success. I believe that Penn Trafford can do this in one swift action, and I will explain that action a little later in my presentation. There are many good results when one has financial literacy. For starters, you can be in control of your money. That control generates a level of peace that many never have. Second, you can better choose your career and do what you really love to do. And third, you can live where you want and with whom you want and do not have to have these type of worries. When you have financial literacy, you can build wealth brick by brick and at least have a stable financial condition as long as you learn financial literacy. So first, let's look at how Americans are doing from a financial perspective. Here are some eye-opening facts. 78% of adults live paycheck to paycheck. Fewer than 1 in 5 adults are confident in savings. 33% of American adults have exactly $0 saved for retirement. 53% of adults are financially anxious. 2 in 3 families lack an emergency fund. 60% of adults had credit card debt in the past year. And 44% of Americans don't have enough cash to cover a $400 emergency. These statistics clearly prove that many adults are not as educated as they should be about their personal finances and how to manage their money properly. As I did my research, I found that many people are seeing the same problem that I'm seeing, making financial literacy an age-old dilemma. So, what does it mean to be financially literate? Well, it is about understanding. It is about understanding how money works for you and against you. And there is a lot to understand. Some broad concepts and ideas to consider are income, expenses, assets, and debt. Another important topic is taxation, especially because in our country, the taxes will be going up in the near future. Investing is another very important topic. Now, if somebody my age were to invest $5 in the stock market every single day, by the time they retire, they would have, wait for it, $1,161,644. Wow, that is over $1 million. This is due to the power of compounding interest, which happens over a long period of time. How many of you have watched Shark Tank? How many of you know Kevin O'Leary, better known as Mr. Wonderful? He recently gave his opinion about the poor financial literacy that has been going on in this country for years in the past and still going on now. So here is a video.
We've been invited to high schools. It's very popular with young entrepreneurs. And one theme keeps coming up over and over and over again. It's financial literacy. We teach our kids everything in high school: sex education, geography, math, reading, etc. We do not teach them anything about credit cards or debt or investing. And then we ask ourselves why we end up in a situation as we are today, which has been highlighted by the pandemic a bit. There's 100 million people in America that have set nothing aside for their retirement. And that, I don't know, if I'm looking for a cause, which I am, to really give back on in 2021 and beyond, it's going to be financial literacy. It freaks me right out that so many people, including many of the people that work for me in my own companies, have just 2 weeks of cash set aside, and that's not even investing. That's just poor financial planning. So I decided year, and over time we've been invited to high.
So, what are we supposed to do about this very important problem? Thankfully, there has been much research done already on this topic. Like in many areas of life, education is crucial to have success in financial literacy. In a 2010 study, there were 15,797 students who were analyzed, and the students who came from states where a financial education course was required were more likely to display positive financial behaviors, save, and pay off credit cards in full each month. They were less likely to max out their credit cards, make late credit card payments, and be compulsive buyers. Some kids are lucky enough to learn about their financial literacy when they are at home. However, most do not. This is where the education system bears some responsibility. So, if financial literacy is the key to good long-term financial decision-making, how are we doing in our community with this issue? Can we improve? Well, our school is on the right track with our business and personal finance course that we have, taught by Mr. Costiglo. I am lucky enough to be taking that class right now. However, there is only one teacher that teaches the course, which causes limited availability to take place. Many students never have opportunities to take this type of class because there is simply one teacher teaching the class. I also went around and I asked all of the Penn Trafford High School students, and I tried to check out their level of interest in taking a personal finance class. Out of the responses I got, 93.7% of students were interested. Students all around me are eager to learn about their personal finances and how to manage their money properly, and it is time to make it happen. I also emailed the principal at Yonk High School, named Mr. Sutherland, about his Life After High School course that he has in his high school. And he gave his opinions about the class and said he loved that all of his students got to take the class, and he said that it is a great incentive to get people to learn real-world problems and really just learn about their personal finances to use once they get out of high school and college and enter the real world. He also told me 4 other schools in our surrounding, like in our community, the names are North Allegheny, Mount Pleasant, Burrell, and Derry. What does our government say about this? 21 states require high school students to take a course that integrates personal finance content. Pennsylvania is not yet one of them. However, Pennsylvania is starting to figure it out. There has been a new bill that should be taking place in the 2020-2021 school year that states if a student takes a personal finance class, they can use it towards other graduation requirements such as business education, family and consumer science, math, and social studies. Now note that this is not a set-aside graduation requirement, but rather you can use this type of class for other graduation requirements. What should be done here at PT? I firmly believe that our district should make a personal finance course a graduation requirement. I believe that this is the best way to help students achieve better results in their financial futures, no matter what their income is. Our school has requirements in health, gym, foreign language, social studies, science, math, English, etc. Is personal finance less important than those areas? I think it is every bit as important, if not more. It will literally affect every student in the future, no matter what career they pick. Is that true of the other subjects? I also brainstormed some other ideas of how we could make this sort of class fit into these busy students' lives schedules. I personally know that I'm a very busy student with extracurriculars, and it can be hard to fit in personal finance content. So one of which is you can add additional teachers or offerings to allow more students to have opportunities to take the course before they graduate. You can have it as a summer course, like summer health, summer English, and you can use self-study and videos on your own at home. You can do an online course with a teacher not really being involved, but rather doing this when you have time in your schedule, during a study hall, during your lunch, after school one day when you don't have anything going on. And last, we can do a 10-minute increment during homeroom of short but productive financial learning sessions during that homeroom period we have during first period. I also found 2 great resources that could be used in this type of class. One of which I was lucky enough to be able to read, which is The Missing Semester. I read this in my business and personal finance class, and it covers topics like car loans, student loans, credit cards, debt, cost-effective career moves, etc. I think this would be a great book for students to read in this type of class to help them get out of their bad habits of spending money in the wrong ways, and I think it'd be great for students to use in this type of class. The second one is curriculum made by Dave Ramsey. For anyone who doesn't know, Dave Ramsey fought his way out of millions of dollars of debt over 25 years ago. And he decided that he wanted to use what he learned and teach it to people all across the country. So we could use a curriculum like this as well to really help students out in a class like that. Additionally, I found some other research ideas from Campbellsville University. The first is adding personal finance questions on all these standardized tests that we are required to take. I know you students in the crowd know that I feel like we're always taking these standardized tests, and I can't think of ever coming across a personal finance question. So I think that if there were these types of questions, that it would encourage students and staff to want to teach this type of content to students. Second, you could have additional materials available to parents at home. So if for whatever reason students can't learn this content in school, they can have materials at home for the parents to teach the students. Or they can learn this type of material on a continual basis at home if they're also learning it in school. There needs to be something productive and proactive to fix this problem of financial literacy, poor financial literacy all across our country. I believe that this wouldn't be a very difficult fix, and if students took a course focused on this type of content, that we would see a big increase in those financial literacy scores. I would love for Penn Trafford to incorporate a graduation required business class into our school system, and that would really allow students to know what to do with their money and know how much of it to invest, spend, save, etc. Thank you. Questions, anybody? Go ahead, Dominic.
So, you brought up Dave Ramsey as like a financial expert. What do you like about him specifically? Like his money ideas?
I didn't really get into looking specifically at his curriculum, but I think he covers all those topics that I mentioned in the Missing Semester book, such as all of the financial topics, such as car loans, student loans, just credit cards, debt, all of that, investing in the stock market, really learning how to do that as a kid, because you can not buy a Dunkin' coffee one day that's $5, invest it in the stock market every day of your life, and by the time you retire, you have that money turns into over $1 million. So just basic topics like that. Anybody else? Yeah, go ahead in the back. Oh, I can't. Can you repeat it? Yeah, so I was speaking to the school district about it. I mentioned it to them. I didn't get to speak with them specifically. I tried to do it, and then I didn't end up coming to school the next day. But I thought that they would be able to view this. I was going to send it to them, actually, the school board, after this, like my presentation, and maybe like have them look at it. But I didn't get an opportunity to speak specifically with them. Yeah, go ahead. That's a good question. I do not. I have a very busy life, and I have not started a job yet. I have done some babysitting on the side, but not like a consistent job. I do a lot of extracurriculars, and I'm very busy. I have a hard school schedule and extracurriculars, so I don't have time for a job. Therefore, I don't. I probably should, but no, I don't. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Well, we have a business and personal finance class, and like that could be a requirement. But I think it's hard because there's a limited amount of graduation requirements. But at least having that personal finance class as you can use it towards other graduation requirements. I think that would be a good start. Anybody else? Okay.